One of the biggest stories of the year in South Central Pennsylvania has been the Independence Law Center, the conservative law firm which has been hired by school boards across the region to draft policies related to cultural issues.
The firm has caused a backlash in many of those communities, and Fox 43's James Corrigan's conducted an exclusive interview with the ILC, and tonight he is joining us live to bring you the second part of his conversation with a member of the law firm. James.
That's exactly right, Amy. And where the Independence Law Center has gone this year, controversy and attention has followed. The conservative law firm has been hired as pro bono counsel this year for school districts across South Central Pennsylvania. The firm advises them and helps them draft policy pertaining to cultural issues in schools, which have drawn the ire of parents and community groups, but the support of others wanting to reel in an expansion of gender identity in schools through the ILC's policies. We sat down with senior counselor Jeremy Samick at the ILC to discuss each of these policies, beginning with the issue of the gender identity of students. Policies approved in Northern York require parents to sign off on a student's preferred pronouns and allows students and teachers to not refer to a student by their preferred pronouns if they don't want to.
When we have very important issues, parents need to be involved in that. And so this just ensures that there's going to be those type of communications with parents so that everybody can be on the same page.
You call it an important issue, the identity of each individual student. Is that an important issue to the district as a whole?
Yeah, the district has students from all different backgrounds, all different nationalities, all different belief systems, and they need to be able to teach and educate all of them.
That is a complete waste of time.
Alicia Runkle is a parent with 2 children in the Elizabethtown School District and is also the president of community group E-Town Common Sense.
A person who decides what pronouns they are most comfortable with, I think they know themselves better than anyone else, and that there is no harm in respecting people's pronouns that they prefer.
Another issue focused on by the ILC is the rights of transgender students, including whether they are allowed to use bathrooms and play on sports teams aligning with their identified gender.
So in our culture, you would rarely, if ever, separate people based on protected classifications. And sex is one of those classifications, but there's a few times where if it's a really good reason for doing it, we do separate. One of those areas are bathrooms and locker rooms.
Is gender not a protected classification in your mind?
Well, pregnancy is a protected classification, but we wouldn't say that somebody, just because they're pregnant, would be able to go into the male locker room.
These policies create an othering of many of our students.
Lori Lebo is an advocacy coordinator with the Pennsylvania State Education Association and says the bathroom policies contribute to a far higher rate of suicide for transgender youth. According to the Trevor Project, roughly half of young people who identify as transgender contemplate suicide at some point.
I specifically know teachers who have lost students to these issues, and it's heartbreaking. What a terrible thing. And instead of focusing on dividing our kids, we should be focused on working together with them.
Is there a practical effect when it comes to the wider district community?
Oh, absolutely. There absolutely is an effect. So when it came to Leah Thomas, the Penn University swimmer who was male, identified as female, and began swimming in the female division, won a national championship, the question arises, what is the rules?
This does not apply to high schools, elementary schools, middle schools. We are talking about children who want to play sports with their friends. We're not Olympic athletes. We need to be focusing on real issues, not these made-up problems that are not actually affecting us.
Where critics say it can affect school districts is through legal liability. The Central Bucks School District paid $1.75 million in legal fees to a separate firm after the ACLU of Pennsylvania filed a complaint to the Departments of Justice and Education over an alleged culture of discrimination against LGBTQ+ students in the district. The district consulted with the ILC at the time.
They hired another firm to investigate whether there was bullying happening that the school wasn't taking care of. And those legal fees that you referred to was fees that they paid for an outside firm to do an independent investigation. Nobody has ever filed a lawsuit against any policy that ILC has drafted.
But the ACLU of Pennsylvania disputes this, saying in a statement to Fox 43 that, quote, district policies absolutely were part of the complaint. Changes to district policies exacerbated a hostile environment created by unaddressed bullying. Supporters of the ILC on school boards like Penn Manor also acknowledge the risk of litigation stemming from these policies.
If we are going to be sued, I would rather be sued with policy rather than no policy. I would rather be sued with legal experience on our side rather than a firm that is on the fence. Either way, we're going to be sued.
In the end, Samick says the firm's message to those concerned about its policies is that those who disagree with them need to come together for what he says is the good of all students.
We're all not going to agree on everything. You might not agree with, the school boards themselves may not agree with everything, but we should be seeking to find ways to accommodate everybody and everybody's worldview.
We want our kids to be able to attend schools and feel safe and feel valued and feel respected.
Now, the Department of Education has not yet announced a conclusion to its investigation into Central Bucks. The law firm the district hired last year with the aforementioned legal fees conducted its own investigation and said the district did not discriminate against LGBTQ+ students. But the ACLU of Pennsylvania disputed that investigation, saying that it was biased and incomplete. James Corrigan, Fox 43 News.
Yeah, an interesting look at the ILC, and you can see part 1 of that report on our website right now, fox43.com. James, thanks so much.